This is Greg here with Gag Order Radio once again. Here's my friends San Cisco. You guys want to introduce yourself individually?
I'm Geordie.
I'm Josh.
And tell us something about you guys. Like, when did you start playing music? What instrument you guys play? Or have you experienced any other different instruments in your time here?
I started playing music when I was quite young, and I started writing songs when I was about probably 12 or 13. And yeah, I've only really ever played guitar. Started off on piano.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's my story.
Yeah, I'm similar. I started out on guitar in high school, early high school.
Yeah.
And just played with that for a long time. Started writing songs when I met Geordie in high school. And then, piano. I've always been interested in pianos and playing pianos.
Yeah, I feel like guitar and piano always go hand in hand with artists.
Yeah.
I mean, they're similar, I feel. And you guys just came back from South by Southwest, and we just finished an interview with Lucy Rose from England, and she loved South by Southwest, met all sorts of different artists and stuff, and I was wondering what your guys' impressions of South by Southwest were.
Yeah, I think everyone who's at South by Southwest loves South by Southwest. Yeah. It's so good. It's just especially I think this time of year, you get out of the snow and it's sunshine.
Feel refreshed, feel like a new
Yeah,
year,
yeah, it's so good. And just everywhere you look, there's cool people and cool music happening, and yeah, it was just a really refreshing week.
Right.
Yeah.
And does it compare to any other festivals you've been to, or was South by Southwest its own beast?
Yeah, the only thing that would come close, and not even them, would be CMJ, just because you're going to there's all these different shows going on in little venues.
Yeah.
But even then, for CMJ, you can't even really tell there's a festival going on in the streets of New York.
Right.
But in Austin, it's just there's stuff happening everywhere.
Yeah.
It's full on, so cool.
And word is that you guys met AP Ferg and the rest of the ASAP mob. Wondering, how was that experience? How cool were they? And what was that kind of meeting of the two worlds?
That was so cool. It just made you feel like such a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just playing the show at the Sony show up on this rooftop, which is pretty cool, and they just rocked up and started grooving along.
That's so cool.
And then we saw them. They said hi, and then we saw them later on when we were doing interviews for MTV, and they said hello again, and we just sort of hung out for a bit. But yeah, they're cool dudes.
Yeah. And was there anyone else you met at South by Southwest, both either as a fan or someone you'd potentially like to work with or anything like that?
We didn't go up and introduce ourselves. We were pretty busy as well, playing shows and interviews and stuff. But I mean, there's people walking around that you recognize. I saw Dave Grohl.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, just
I said hello to Macklemore.
Yeah, did he say anything back?
He said hi.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And so Boston is your first stop on this first U.S. tour for you guys.
First headline.
First headline tour.
Yeah.
And what do you expect out of Boston, and what do you expect from this tour?
I don't know. I expect a few people to come. And just I guess we're just trying to spread our music, get our music out there, and just play to people and build up a fan base from the ground up, sort of.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So that's a new thing, exciting thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how can you think you can match the successes of other Australian bands that have come into American pop culture and influence the American kind of culture?
match it.
Match or influence, help out.
I don't know. I guess. I mean, we are influenced by a lot of Australian bands ourselves, so it's kind of works that way. A lot of young bands influenced by the big bands that come out of Australia, I guess.
Who else have you been influenced by?
Well, Luke Steele especially, I think, who's in Empire of the Sun.
Okay, yeah. Very good band.
We've been hearing a lot about his new record that's coming out soon, and I am very excited about it.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
And what can we expect next from San Cisco? What's coming up that we can get excited for?
America will be getting an album.
Yeah.
Yeah. In spring.
Nice.
So that you can look forward to that. But the rest of the world, doing all sorts of things. Australia, we're going to do our own headline tour around Australia when we get home.
That'd be cool.
And then we'll probably start thinking about recording and start that sort of process, songwriting and recording. So.
Nice. And what would you say would be the most interesting place you've been musically, as far as like around the globe?
I reckon last week Austin, Texas.
Texas,
yeah,
yeah.
it takes a cake. I reckon.
Yeah.
It's
Why that?
I don't know. I think just like lots of cool people hanging around, lots of really cool music happening,
Right.
and yeah, like I say, it was just really refreshing to get out of the cold and
Right. Yeah.
into the sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's San Cisco here in Boston at the Great Scott tonight, and look for them around the rest of the U.S. on their U.S. tour. Thanks.